I feel stuck in life. I am unhappy. I want change. I want to do something. What do I start? What do I begin with? The thing with human brain is it hates change. Any type of change, our brain just automatically goes, no. It always comes up with the absolute worst scenarios. Like, try to think about a time in your life where you wanted to change something. The first scenario that comes to your head is a negative one. It doesn't need to be you dying, but it could be you running short on money, losing a friendship, whatever it is, but it's always like has this negative energy in it, which is obviously not pleasant at all. And what's funny is people literally stay in abusive relationship out of habit because we are used to that, to a point where the change, aka leaving the relationship, it is just so terrifying to us that we'd rather stay in that. Even if your current life is full of abuse and violence and hate, your brain just literally says, hey, this is the known pattern. I don't want to change it. I don't want to go for anything else. Let's stay in here. We already know how to survive this. What if it's going to be harder on the other way of it? How to treat change in this case, whether it's this abusive relationship or any type of situation where you feel stuck, you need to realize one smart thing is you are sacrificing the comfort of staying in this known pattern to your brain for potentially a lifelong of traumas, fear, violence, regret. Regret is a big one. Ask any elderly person if there are things they regret in life. They're gonna tell you so many, and it's actually so incredibly sad and terrifying. And I feel like our generation in 2024, we have the luxury of being able to choose a lot of things. We are still very privileged compared to our grandparents, but it's still hard. Hi everybody, it's snowing in Paris today, and let's call this episode Snowing with Violetta, aka me. And once again, we're talking today, and we're talking about a very important subject. We're talking about change and how terrifying it is actually to switch things up. So let's just go into the subject. I'm feeling super generous today, and I really want to give like a step-by-step guide because I just know it's going to be very helpful to a lot of people, and it is based on my life, my experience, and common sense. So the thing with change is, just overall, our whole life is measured in time. Time is our most precious resource. So by staying in patterns that are, whether they are negative to you or they're unhealthy or they're just not satisfying you, so meaning staying in the life circumstances that make you say, I am not satisfied with my life and I am unhappy, you are wasting your own time. Remember that at the end of the day, you're gonna die. And we kind of all expect to die by 85, 90, something, maybe a little bit earlier. Nobody thinks that they're gonna die tomorrow. We do not anticipate this. You could. The sooner you start to act, the sooner you start to change whatever it is you want to change, the sooner your life will become exponentially better. Once again, measured in time. You should try to hurry yourself up. I know it's hard. It's always gonna be hard. And it is just as hard for me, for your boyfriend, for your mom, for your girlfriend, as it is for everybody. So time in this case is the formula. Once again, the sooner you start, the sooner you will be happier or freer or wealthier. One funny thing is our body confuses excitement with fear just as much as it confuses hunger with being thirsty. So very often your body sends signals to you saying like, hey, this is scary, I'm not sure I want to do that, like this is confusing, while in fact what you're feeling is excitement, and it takes a little bit of time and experience to realize which one is which. I go with the following formula. For as long as the thing that my body anticipates as fear or sees as fear is not dangerous to me, I am respecting my own boundaries and the boundaries of people around me, and it's not gonna have horrible negative consequences in my life where I could fear losing things or doing something to myself. I'm gonna go for the change, or at least I'll try to have a glimpse of it, and then if I feel like I like the doors that have been opened to me, I'm gonna proceed. And also the thing is, fear is a very powerful energy, just as hate is, for example. So a lot of times in your life when you are not feeling yourself, when you are traumatized and you need to change things, I always say channel the negative emotions. Why there's so much taboo around negative emotions? Why are we only supposed to be the creatures of love and comfort and butterflies and blah, blah, blah? I don't want that. There are moments in your life where you are purely a creature of hate, of rage, of anger, of fear. You should channel that. Fear is so big. Like, our whole existence is rooted in fear. Our brain makes sure that it sends signals to our body when we are potentially in situations of danger. Use that fear. You know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter if you are excited or scared of something. Give it a little try. Honestly, what motivates me to a lot in life is imagining myself regretting my life when someone interviews me on the street when I'm 82 years old. They go like, "Hi, like, do you have any regrets in life?" And I go, "Yeah. I hated the job that I had for my whole life. I had kids and I didn't enjoy myself because I felt the pressure from my partner, from my family, societal pressure on myself and my body, and I made that decision." All kind of regrets. Like, this terrifies me so deeply because there's nothing worse than living your life in regret, and when you look back at your life, you realize that you didn't enjoy it that much. Like, this is the worst case scenario for me. It just gives me so much anxiety. I don't want to even imagine that. But what do we do to not fall into this schema? Once again, we start acting. So now let's talk about the step-by-step thing that, once again, I did based on my personal experience, and I believe I have enough experience of change. So I divided it in several steps. Let's start with the first one. Start small for the sake and well-being of your brain. Once again, we hate change. So what should we do to introduce change? We should break it down. Let's say you have one big goal. You're never going to be able to achieve this whole big goal in a month. Just be realistic. You want to learn German? Let's learn it. How are we going to do it? We're going to break it down into smaller goals so we feel more comfortable. Set clear goals and find the good timing. Meaning, in July of 2025, I want to read 2 books. By the end of this month, I want to make sure that I've done 3 yoga classes. This week, I want to send 10 job applications for the job of my dreams. Make sure you have a very precise timing. And once again, you're breaking down all of your goals. I swear to God, it's going to be very beneficial for your brain. You're just going to feel the sense of ease in you, realizing that, oh, actually, this small action that I can take in like under 2 minutes is gonna help me achieve my bigger goal. How amazing it is. It only takes 2 minutes. While today I'm feeling lazy, it's only gonna be 2 minutes, but then you keep adding up those 2 minutes every day of your life. 6 months from now, you're still not gonna be fluent in German, but sweetheart, you're gonna understand so much more about the vocabulary and grammar, maybe even be able to talk a little bit. I learned French under 5 months, 5.5. So there's no reason for you not to learn German within 6 months or whatever the goal is. But once again, be realistic. Journal about the progress. Make sure you celebrate your own progress. Make sure you write things down. Doesn't need to be every day. I would say the healthiest would be like every 3 weeks, let's say. Every 3 weeks, go back to your journal and say, hey, this week I learned 2 new tenses in German. I learned 30 new words and I really mastered them, and I'm getting so much better at it. You're just gonna be happy with your results, because when you're learning things, when you're changing, you are not realizing how much you gain from it, how much knowledge you got, how much you achieved. But by writing them down, you can always come back on the days where you're feeling the blues. You can always go back to your journal, literally read it and say, hey, I'm so damn proud of myself. And the next thing is journal about your feelings too. Make sure you write down how it made you feel. It doesn't need to be positive all the time. It could be negative feelings too. It could be, today I absolutely hated German. I hate Germany and I hate everything about this country and I hate the culture and I hate the language. It is fine. It is your journal. You can literally say whatever you want. By the way, I don't hate Germany. This was just a stupid example. Make sure you write positive feelings too. Make sure you're saying, hey, this week I felt a little bit exhausted at the beginning of the week, but by the end of the week, I was so much bigger in terms of how I felt towards my relationship with German. I am feeling more confident now. And actually, I sent my first email in German and it felt so good. Like, I am incredibly proud of myself. It's gonna feel good. Do everything that you need to feel good to encourage yourself to keep going. Share your goals with your friends, with your family, whoever the people who you really value and respect, because them encouraging you is just gonna top your own encouragement. Make sure you tell them, hey, like, I just started learning German. I'm not really that good at it, but you know, I learned this expression and I just wanted to tell you this, like, what do you think about my pronunciation? If these people really love you, they're only gonna cheer on you. They'd be like, hey, sweetheart, that's amazing. Share your goals with the people that you love and trust the most, and the people who are naturally very supportive and encouraging. Imagine yourself living this better life. There's one hack that I saw on TikTok. This is absolutely amazing. Go to ChatGPT and write down a scenario for your perfect life. Let's say, hey Chat, 5 years from now, I want to do this as a job. This is my financial situation. This is the amount of kids that I have. Whatever it is that you want to write down that is important to you in your dream life, write it down and ask ChatGPT to imagine a perfect life for you based on the description that you just gave it. It is mind-blowing. It is literally so cute because you're going to imagine yourself living this life. You're going to put yourself in this place and say, hey, well, maybe if I actively start doing the things that I have been escaping because I'm scared and I'm not sure about them, this is what my life could be like in 5 years. It feels good. It feels satisfying. Once again, you feel encouraged to keep going. And ChatGPT is a free tool. So I don't see one reason not to do that. Remember that we as humans form habits within more or less 21 days. It is going to take you time, but once you are done with those 21 days of doing something consistently, whether you've been doing it for 2 minutes or 5 hours, it's going to become your reality. It's going to become your habit. It's going to be like taking a shower. It's going to be like cooking your lunch. You have to do those things because your body needs them. You're not even thinking about it. You just automatically get up and start going. It's going to become an essential part of you. Those new habits that you just introduced to your life, they're going to become a part of you because you have been doing them consistently. Also, do not spare your time too much. Focus on only one big project or like 2-3 small projects at the same time. If you go for more, you will not be able to achieve it. Break down your time. Once again, we are limited in time. So if you have one big goal, if you really need to learn German by the end of 2025 and you're like, I'm going to start learning it today, end of November 2024, well, just focus on that. All the other things can wait. Make sure that you read in German daily, that you watch movies in German, whatever it is you need to achieve this big goal. Put all of your time and effort into that if you want big results in a short amount of time. Once you're done with German, or maybe like halfway through and realize that you are more confident and now you have possibly more time for other projects, make sure to start doing something else. Still probably something smaller, but like, you know, introduce new changes, because you cannot just be focused on one thing your whole life, right? By one point in your life, you're going to be more or less done with German. You're like, okay, at this point, I am quite good and I'm just not going to actively like keep learning it every day. I know grammar. I'm just gonna move to Germany and just keep talking to people and I learn language like that. Also, I would say an important one, do not skip rest days. If you have bigger goals and if you have, like, if you want radical changes in life, it is very important, obviously, to keep doing them consistently, but make sure that you plan rest days where your mind just looks at your calendar and goes like, hey, tomorrow is a rest day. Tomorrow I don't need to learn that bloody German because I don't feel like it. Tomorrow I'm just gonna be laying on my couch, watching Netflix, and you know what? I'm not even gonna brush my teeth. Please don't do that. Please brush your teeth. This is just a stupid example, but unfortunately it's very realistic. And it is fine. You need those rest days. They are very important. And resting is actually what helps your self-discipline and your creativity and all of those beautiful things work better. Also, something that I really love to tell myself when I feel down, when I'm not feeling motivated enough, I love to repeat to myself that there are people out there who are way less interesting than me and who are living my dreams daily. You know why? Because these people are consistent with their words and actions. They just keep doing and doing and doing. You know who wins in life? It's never the geniuses. It is always the self-disciplined people. This is the formula, literally. You will always achieve results for as long as you are self-disciplined, you are consistent, and you embrace this change. I know that it's going to be hard, and you know that too, but are you going to let them less interesting people win in life over you? I hope not.